All right, on to the strategic game of poker. I'm going to teach you how to approach the game so you can stop gambling, start winning, think like a pro, act like a pro, play like a pro, or in other words, be the world-class poker player you know you're meant to be. The most successful poker players are great investors. They know when a profitable investment is being presented to them, and they are eager and ready to bet their money on it. They also have the ability to recognize when a once profitable investment has turned sour and is no longer profitable. And they are at peace with moving on to the next investment opportunity without feeling attached to the money that they had invested and had to let go. This is something I struggled with for a long time, was putting a lot of chips into a pot that got very big, and on the river having to just fold my hand and not protect my investment because I knew that I'd be throwing more bad money after good. But for a long time, I would still just make those calls to say it's my only chance to win. And sometimes you just have to accept your losses. You know, as the old song goes, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And sometimes you will have to hold on against what seems like great adversity. And sometimes you will have to let things go that were once very favorable. Like when you flop a combo draw that just doesn't materialize in anything. But the strongest poker players have a keen sense for where they're at in a hand, a clear gauge on the odds they're getting, and their true odds of winning this hand, this battle, this contest. They are clear in thought, confident in action, and certain in their decisions. And they are also free of the influences that get most poker players and investors into trouble. You know, that emotional attachment to things. When it comes to playing poker at the highest level, there is no ego, there is no emotion. It's just poker. Investments start as soon as the cards are dealt and you decide whether you want to play or pass, to call, raise, or fold. Pots grow exponentially after the first round of betting, so it's imperative to get this street right. In unopened pots, my strategy is rather straightforward. I typically come in for a raise between 2 and 4 times the size of the big blind, depending on what kind of outcome I want, depending on if I want action or if I'd prefer to get folds from my opponents. And as stacks get shallower, I tend to raise on the smaller side because you can usually accomplish just as much with a min raise as you could with a 2.5x or a 3x raise. And my opening range of hands, my list of hands that are worth playing, gets wider and wider as I approach later position, have fewer opponents to get by, and am therefore likely to have the best hand dealt. Because generally speaking, if you want to put more money in a pot, out of the gate, it's because you probably got dealt the best hand at the table. Okay. This image is taken from my ebook, The Cash Game Crash Course, and the percentages represent what percentages of hands I'm opening from each position. I'm going to break down the actual hands in just a minute. The Cash Game Crash Course also comes with a hand ranking chart showing how the hands rank from top to bottom, both for 9-handed play and 6-handed play, because they are slightly different. In the first positions, the UTG and MP1, I will typically raise all suited Broadway hands, pocket pairs 7s and better, ace-queen, ace-king, and occasionally ace-jack or king-queen. In this position, I do not, as a default, open ace-jack or king-queen offsuit. On some tables, I will go so far as to open all pocket pairs and some of the smaller suited aces like ace-3 suited and ace-5 suited.